What's happening in there? Times 9, times 10, times 10. Peace, God was good. You went to sleep on me.
Nah, this thing acting up again.
Yeah.
I'll take it out of the laptop. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I need to
All right, hold on. Let me
turn
see.
you up a little bit.
Let's try this.
What are you using? An earplug, or you just using the
No,
mic on your
I got
computer,
the
on
earplug,
your
but
PC?
that ain't working now. See, everything be screwing up
Well,
on me.
that's fine.
You know?
I can hear you. You good?
They got me.
We got a little bit of background music. As long as the instrumental isn't drowning us out with the volume, we good. We good. And you are rocking with the best. The best. The. Let me go to the comments so I can be in sync right quick. Peace to the God, Mr. Calico. Yeah, they say they hear you real good. Peace to the God, Brother Jabril Dawood, ill to the bay. We got an ill bay in the building. We got a bunch of ill bays. It's just, when it comes to social media handles, it is what it's gonna be. I want to tell them more than what we want them to know. Even though funny shit, I looked at some of my plantation documents or whatnot. You know how you can go online and check your hours, or see what the deductions are. You know what regulation enhancements are they putting upon thee. You know what I'm saying? And these bastards, they got my name. You know what I mean? Like they met me on the streets. Like they know me from the streets. I don't know how that happened, because I definitely did not give them such a Christian appellation in which to identify me with. So, you know, I cannot find this video. I'm on Facebook twice and I'm trying to find a video. If I'm not mistaken, it was a TikTok video that one of the private groups tagged me into. And, I can sum it up. I can paint the picture. It basically was a Eurasian or a white woman, if you will, speaking about the so-called Negroes, black people. Black people were here before everybody else. And, she mentioned mummies being found in the Grand Canyon. And, they kept using the word Egypt, which, a lot of people do, based on whatever information that they found that has them referring to this, what we call the Americas, North, South, and Central, as, how that happen? Anyway, as Egypt, right? Again, what I was mentioning to the elder earlier was the fact that Egypt is, as far as I'm concerned, is a modern word. If you are going to make reference to Romans and Greeks, you know what I'm talking about, as being, even if you say Hittite, I don't care. You know what I'm talking about? There's still, for me, modern times, and you're talking about modern people. So, therefore, if you're going to say this land over here is more ancient than that land over there, again, you cannot, for me, you cannot use modern terms in order to describe ancient lands. Just like we don't accept black, it goes further than it just, not connecting you to a motherland. You know what I mean? Which, is no black language. We talk about nationality. Most when people speak about that, they're speaking in terms of nationality. You can't be black because that's not a nationality. You can't be an African American because that's not a nationality. I'm speaking to you in the terms of, look, You know what I mean? We can't call it Egypt because the word Egypt is not ancient enough to describe the ancient times in which you all are making reference to. Again, just because a mummy is found, or a pyramid, you know what I mean, is found, does it make it Egyptian? This is just, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying I'm right, I'm not saying you're wrong. But this is not even the main point of me bringing this up to the elders so we can have this discussion, right? The main reason I bring this to his attention was because, again, we know our people are more receptible when there's a so-called white person saying such things versus you and I saying such information, right? So, people were really gravitating towards it and giving it high fives and all kind of shit, right? But I saw a elder who, you know, I'm very familiar with. I'll mention his name eventually. You know what I'm talking about? His title. He's a chief. Not taking nothing from nobody, but his response to the video was an emoji of himself laughing, right? Not telling, because like I say, y'all see certain TikTok videos and whatnot, and y'all wholeheartedly, oh, the elder back. So let me put the elder back. I don't know what had happened. We're gonna find out what happened. But what y'all do is y'all wholeheartedly accept everything verbatim that's being said in a TikTok video as if it's all truth, right? But instead of the elder doing what elders are supposed to do, which is break it down, like what this person said, about this is true. What they said about the Smithsonian Institute, that was true. What they said about this, but this particular information that they said in this portion of the video, you know what I'm talking about? This is possibly false. This is possibly satire information because it came from this Gazette magazine or newspaper, or you know what I'm talking about? Like, I'm not saying, look, I'm not pointing out what in the video was true or false because right now I can't find it. My point is, as an elder, you're supposed to guide us through the shit, not just laugh at it, because I've been around long enough to know that it was some facts that she stated in that video, but it was really like 50-50. It's what I call 50-50. Like, half of it, you can utilize, the other half you can throw in the fucking trash. You know what I'm talking about? Like, when you eat the fish, you eat the bones too. Not saying there's a lot of people that when they eat the fish, they eat the bones too. You know what I'm talking about? It's people who don't just eat the chicken, they chew on the bone and get the marrow. And you know what I'm talking about? Like, it is what it is. Now, what effect that it has on you is where the difference come in. Like, was you eating those bones, was that halal or was it haram? You know what I'm talking about? At the end of the day, that's what it turns into. Was it something that was beneficial to you or your health or your intellect? You know what I'm talking about? That's what I'm saying. If not, then you got to throw it away. You just can't laugh at people when they're giving you information, right? That's illogical. We'll just say it like that, because we get some good information from various sources. You know what I'm talking about? But a lot of times the primary source that y'all get some of this information from is very shaky. You know what I'm talking about? Like, it's just like some of the things that Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, some of the things that he says gets the people, you know, uh, uh, attention in a good way. Then some of the shit he says make you want to smack him. You know what I mean? That's because some of the information that he is regurgitating comes from the enemy, right? The direct enemy, goddamn it. And then some of the information that you hear him regurgitating comes from good sources that we're familiar with, that resonates with us, and so on and so forth. Then some of the shit that he spews out is his own direct experience that he's sharing with the people. You know what I mean? Now that we can go down a line, a list of various celebrities and say the same shit about them. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to agree with all that anybody says or does, right? Everything that, we speak about tonight, it may not resonate with you, and that's fine. That's why when I post, I said, relatives join me and help me out. So, we're talking about reality, belief versus reality. Basically, this is what the bill is about. So, I want to dismantle some of the falsehoods that have been taught to us over and over again. Many of us have bypassed, certain shit like celebrating Thanksgiving and Christmas and Black Fridays, and what I'm talking about? Like, we have surpassed that already. I've already lost, 90 plus percent of, my so-called friends, family, and support system because I don't participate in none of this shit and haven't participated in none of this shit for a long time now. Very, very, very long time now. And the longer that you sustain from being involved in celebrating, which really it's consumerism. You know what I mean? It's to get you to consume. You know what I'm talking about? And make wealthy folks wealthier, which is not helping yourself, let alone our people as a whole. But again, we familiar with the stories and some of the literature even has been written about you know the West, Egypt of the West, and you know what I mean, America. We look at places like Memphis, Tennessee. Y'all can name a whole bunch of shit. I'm a little bit rusty because, again, this is information that I thought everybody already kind of, got a grip on, and you figured out what you can prove and what you couldn't prove. There's no way in the fuck we gonna be able to prove anything. We're not gonna be able to prove that the Smithsonian Institute is holding anything, right? What we gonna do? We gonna go up in there and rob them and shit? So certain things you just have to put it in the middle. We'll put it in the stack right here because we can't prove that this is, the real deal, or if it's, just pure fiction, right? And with them being non-responsive to various requests decades before we even came upon the information, it's like, what you gonna do with that? Right? I don't have to get the information from the Smithsonian Institute when, again, you see pyramids or mounds all over this place, right? Even if we're just talking about Poverty Point, for example, because in all honesty, it was through Washita that I learned this information. It didn't come from a Frank Joseph, right? Peace be upon her. Empress Verdiasi did not need the help of Frank Joseph, you know what I mean, to tell her shit about her ancestors or this ancient land being what it is. You know what I mean? Now, that was a plus to have someone with a magazine and someone available to do an entire PowerPoint presentation with photos and all. You know what I'm saying? Some of us who've seen Olmec heads before, there are other ancient artifacts throughout the Americas that you probably weren't familiar with. And, in the mid to late 90s, and you had somebody like a Frank Joseph, you know what I mean, who had a budget. I don't have a budget. I'm not getting an annual budget from the state of this or the state of Morocco. Talk about to, let's keep it 1,000. So sometimes we have to go into other sources. Are you muted? How you get muted? Hold up, hold up, hold up.
No, I'm
Peace.
good. I didn't want to interrupt. Go ahead. I'm good.
Nah, I'm done.
listening.
I wanted to get that little bit out.
Oh, okay. There it is, acting silly again. Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. So how y'all doing, man? What's going on, family? Shadow Band, your
Uh,
girl, El Bay.
what Ibrahim used to say, better than some and worse than others.
Right. So yeah, what's been going on? What you got going on? What's the dealio? What can we look? What can we solve with all these heads we got? We can solve a lot of issues. You know what I'm saying? We got the mastermind, so let's solve these issues that you keep talking about. We got the science. We should be able to solve alcoholism, which is killing us. Damn. Woo. Do you know they had the so-called Jews own the alcohol business? The whole thing, where you can't get a license. and they set you to drink rock gut liquor instead of real liquor. You know, the liquor they make, the real liquor is over $100. Some are 1,000. But we drink that rock gut shit. Man, I had that good book where it tells you that they own they own the whole thing. So there's no what you call it, conspiracy to say that they're trying to take over. No, they just have a certain conglomerate or monopoly, a monopoly. You know what I'm saying? To control shit. Nobody likes them, period. And we're not talking about the Jews that are just everyday people, but they align themselves and they sympathize with them. The only people that don't like them are the Orthodox Jews. They can't stand them damn sacrilegious ass carpetbaggers, scheming ass people. And that's the problem now. They walk all over the religious, their own Orthodox people. They walk all over them. But then they try to pretend that they're respecting them and with, oh yeah, that's right. Gilda fish, oy vey, shalom alek. No, they out there making that cash. And the Orthodox people know this, but they say, throw a couple there, give me a high list and an oy vey there, and you got it going. And they forgive you. And don't do it again. But they keep doing it and doing it. Usury, circumcision, the Old Testament, 10 Commandments. We're over the 10 Commandments. Why we keep going through that shit? We overcame the 10 Commandments. Now we got to overcome the beast, which we still have in us, the beast. We have the beast in us, the ego. That's look. Serpent. That serpent. We have that, and we don't know how to tame it. And so we take Satan, which is the delight of the world, and it only gives you a temporary feeling, and you think it's a good feeling, and the shit keeps draining you, and keeps draining you, and keeps draining you. And so we don't know how to preserve our being so we can see God. He said you can't. Shit, Jacob saw God. Why I can't see God? Enoch walked with God. He said Jacob saw God face to face. Enoch walked with God. Shit, what about Elijah? So where's this God that we got to see? They say it's possible. You could do it in your mortal body. They say, but they say you got to be a God to see a God. Huh? You got to be a God to see a God. Now, how do you attain that? Intelligence.
Fast.
Knowledge. Huh?
Fast and shut up.
There you go. Silence. Observe. Adapt. Navigate. Be on time. Prepare yourself. You know what I'm saying? Know how to pray. Know how to affect. Know how to correspond. You got the law of attraction, law of correspondence, law of this, law of that. Law. And that's this right here. So once you get that done, we know self. Oh, now let's get out there and make some cash. Let's get out there and dig some dirt, make some glass. However we're gonna make it. Let's get some what you call that thing? Some 18-wheelers, some backhoes, some cranes. Let's build a damn hotel. We got enough. I don't even need a damn I don't need a line. I can do this with my. But the only one that can't do it, they call him, the one that built without hands. That's what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna be the head man. You go over here, you go over here, you do that, you do that. That's what it's talking about. You could change the world just by thinking and saying be, and it is. It is whatever you want it to be. So now we're gonna get the blueprint. We need to get some cranes, at least 10 stories. We need some them little cherry pickers. We need to start building some damn apartment buildings. We need to start building some office space. If not, get the ones that's already. Well, we don't want to do that because we gotta have to knock that shit down and build our own. We don't want their shit. We want our shit. And so that's what I'm thinking of right there. We got the money, the liquor that they sell in our neighborhoods. We have to put a tax on that liquor. That tax on that liquor will take care of the bags that they be throwing out, the bottles that they be throwing out in the street, get my tire flat. It'll help with mental health. You know what I'm saying? And that money will go back to the community. Now, if those people that sell the liquor in our community don't want to do that, they got to get the hell out. That's how you solve that problem. So you have to give up, I guess, a notice to what do you call that thing? Notice to leave. That's it. Get out. The other thing is the drugs. You're gonna have this don't take over. It's gonna take 50 to 100 years for this thing to happen. It don't work overnight. It takes a long time. Like they say, we got a long way to go. Yeah, we got a long. For some, we got a long way to go. For some, we don't have a long way to go.
Yeah,
And
if we can
so,
get off script, like I was saying earlier, we on script.
yeah.
If it ain't days of our life or one life to live and general hospital, it's the Helios Biblios.
Okay.
Everybody,
So,
is wants to act like they ain't never read nothing before. You know what I'm talking about?
well,
Like
they
now
have.
it's you read of something and now it's of your hearteth. You know what I'm saying? Fuck everything that's reality that's in your face that you've experienced.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
Everybody, wants to ride Shakespeare jock. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, but we got our own Shakespeare's. You know what I'm saying? We got. Excuse me. Excuse me.
That's fine for entertainment. You know what I'm talking about? Even for upliftment. But, you know, when
Is there
you
somebody else chiming in? I hope so. Come on, y'all. Everybody chime in. We need to get the look. Let me tell you what happened on Sturtevant and Linden. There was a brother from Benin. Y'all don't call him, but he was a brother from Benin. We worked at the airport together, and he had all these artifacts. And he brought some other brothers over. He was cooking up some tilapia, rice, some veggies. He cooked one fish that could feed 10 people, and everybody could get seconds off of this shit. So he brought some brothers over from different countries, and we sat in a circle. Guess what they did? They appointed me chief. Stop. And we sat down. We had a man meeting together, and I made the decision to say, well, y'all talking y'all tongue and see if I could pick up on things. And they was going in. So we done solved all that problem already. So what we want to do is, I got $100. You get $100. We get $100. We put it into a trust. Put it in a corporate trust, I think they call it. And we have to build that. We have to fund it. We got to tax it. And that way they won't bother us. They will leave us alone because you know what? We're doing business. We're not begging them for anything. Next, we got to get a credit rating. We got to get some value into what we're doing. It only takes a couple of bucks. Get the paper. We need we need somebody in the legal department. So you basically get your own government while you got people online right now. Shadow ban, he could step in and say a little something. You know what I'm saying? So look, man, let's go. Air Atlanta. Air Atlanta was in competition with Delta, and Delta moved them out because they were getting in their market, a Miami Atlanta route. And these are lucrative routes. We need to start thinking like that. We need to start thinking, pulling my little children off the basketball court and put them in some airline simulators, aircraft simulators. That's what we need to be doing. We need to be doing that. That's what we need to be doing. Yeah. So dealing with the Egypt, you are Egypt. Matter of fact, the last Egyptians was back in the 1960s. They call them Afro-Egyptians. They live right here, and they were given the instructions to bring about, I wouldn't say socialist, but whatever we had back then, that's what we should have kept, and we gave that away. That was our emancipation. That was our heaven back then, or our reparations, if you want to call it. That's what we were given. We were given it in the form of, I guess you could say, benefits, and also, you know, you had people that didn't work for the white man. They had their own business. Like I said, the people down here, they will scowl at you and call you a sellout for working for the white man. And so we lost that back in the 60s. That was our heaven. We were given the right to have property. You could knock that old property down, build your own property up. Nobody would say nothing as long as you did it right. You know what I'm saying? As long as you did it right, build your own house up. My uncle did that. He came out of the link. What you call it? He did 10 beds. Came out, got him a house, knocked it down, built another one up. 3-4 bedrooms, a patio, 2-car garage, circular, on his own. Never worked for the white man. Can strip a car down, put it back up, put some stuff in there, and go to Georgia and come back. Called it Big Red. That's what we did back then. We do it today. You just don't see it. We still got brothers, dark brothers, that are having their own business. Ain't get nothing from the white. Matter of fact, the white man got to call him to do work for him. But now you know he gonna get a messed up price for it. He'll give his white partner 100 and give him 50. That's okay, as long as you're getting paid. That's all right. But you ain't got to do business with him too. You can do business with us. I need somebody to do my, you know what I'm saying? Fix my car, and I'll fix their car. We could do the jitneys like we used to. You need a ride, you need a ride. Somebody gave me 2 buds today because he had to get to work late. He know either it's gas or a bud, and he gave me bud. Pretty good too. But Egypt is right here. Egypt, I mean, you call this Asia. Just why do we have to go through all of this stuff? I want to know, how do we build Egypt right now? The new Egypt, not the old one. We got enough information to kill a cat with that. Don't need that anymore. Let's go. We got Egypt right here. We got Ophir right here. We got Ephraim right here. And those are powerful words. And y'all know what that means. You don't need all this arguing about what
Somebody else gonna come and they gonna say Turtle Island. Somebody else gonna come and they gonna say Tamaray. Somebody else gonna come and they gonna say Miss Raim. Like,
guess what?
I'm just saying.
But it's all good though. Okay, so put that in the context. Like, I'm going to Mizraim. I'm going to Rome, Georgia. Or I'm going to Opelika, Alabama. And Opelika are the same thing. Those are Arab or Sudanese, things, names. And if you could come down here, I don't know if you remember number 2 at the dojo, but he called himself number 1. We was at the Alibaba Road, Shabazz over there in Opelika in Miami. Took some pictures. They got there's a Caucasian guy that structured it like you were in Timbuktu or something. It's pretty cool. You gotta look it up. It's in Opelika. They're throwing the signs out and letting us know, because they got to do it. They can't just hold it. When you get knowledge, you can't hold it back. You gotta come out. And now is the time for it to come out. But there's no mystery. There's no mystery. They call the Moors and the Nanakote. What's that name? They call them Nanakote.
Mm-hmm.
They could not designate them with the Negroes. They know this. It says it right there in the books. They can't designate a Moor with a Negro. And it's not their fault that they have different complexions. So a Negro is really dark, red, dark brown, mocha, not black, but dark red. And they have that. They're the Hottentots. They're the ones that you see. You cannot tell them anything. To this day, you can't tell them shit. And they'll think you're trying to put a hex on them because you're trying to tell them stop drinking, smoking, and dragging you and wrecking your car up to save your money. They don't believe in that shit. They want to have a good time because they don't know if they're going to be here tomorrow or not. They don't see another reality outside of where they're at. They see it going on right next to them, but they can't experience it. You know what I'm saying? I experienced all that shit. I sat first class. I've been in some of the expensive houses. I got plenty of money from these assholes, and they want it back. They can't get it back. Yeah, been through all that. We've been through all that tax stuff. You know what I'm saying? But the Egypt is where you're standing at. The Egypt is you. You have to create it. You have to create your pyramid. You have to create your capstone. And it takes a long time to do it. It's a never-ending, infinity. What the fuck? Let's go. Whatever. Let's go.
Land of paradise.
I think that's somewhere over here or over here. But everything is inside of us. Everything that you're talking about, that whole Bible, that's us. That's in here. But you got to eat it up and so when you get the power, it's dangerous because I don't know if you ever heard of and I'm not going to say that happened, but some naturopathic people and some people that had cancer or a reoccurring disease or something, it comes back to haunt you when you backslide, and it kills you. So these things are true. There's some people that, I'm free of this. As soon as you backslide or do something you ain't got no business, it comes back to haunt you.
Yeah, because ultimately, when one chooses to a holistic remedy to any type of health issues or, life-threatening health issues even, the first thing you do is what? You fast, right? So you get all of them toxins and parasites and shit out of your body by way of nothingness is what you're doing. Even if it's just water, it's going to be some water because you're going to need to push the shit out. You know what I'm talking about? But okay, now, you're getting a complete different diagnosis than you got originally from your physician. And they're wondering, how did you do this without chemo or whatever and whatever? You know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. So again, when you go back to the gluten and the genetically modified organisms, because it ain't food, and you know what I'm talking about, then again you have that issue all over again. So anybody who's went through that process and was able to beat death, you know what I'm talking about, and you know what I mean, through holistic avenues or whatnot, how you did it. You understand? The same way you are aware of the fact that now that you're putting these pollutions back into your body, these toxins and shit, what the end result is going to be. You know what I'm saying? So exactly. For me, let me go back a little bit. You talked about some of the good times. You talked about the pre integration days. Basically, that's what you were speaking about. You know what I mean? Now, prior to this integration, when we gave up all of our gas stations and mom and pop stores, even mom and pop record stores, you know what I'm talking about? When we gave up all of that in order to integrate, there was a great deal of legislation coming across the table. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And from that time until now, we have millions of these codes and acts, and you know what I'm talking about? It's what I like to call them regulations and prohibitions.
Now, show the people
what they pass to benefit, their colonist goal, which was to become wealthy by way of doing business. It's like earlier when we spoke, you asked me, was there a seal on this letter that we were speaking about? And I said, yeah, it's the seal of Michigan is on the document, but it's not a raised seal, the way that when you actually see the way the seal should be. It should be raised in honor, in contract. You know what I'm saying?
So
what
basically,
lawful consideration.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you
Yes.
hear me? Okay, so that's arbitrary and it's generic. So it's not directed to anybody, but it just like pick. Hey, we just threw this flyer to you, and you're gonna grab it. And once you see it, you're gonna get anxiety. You're, you're gonna start panting. I owe these people. You don't owe anything. Stop. Send it right back to them. Now we're gonna play mail deliverer, and I'll get the clerk to stop them from sending the mail to you. And that's how you do that. You can sick the mail clerk on these people. Cause I think that's quiet, threatening duress or coercion, something like that. They're trying to
It's like some
mentally,
postmaster shit. Talking
yeah,
about some
but
postmaster
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, but not even the IRS. The people you work for sent that letter to you. That's not the IRS. IRS got nothing to do with you and work. Did you know that? Your job,
Hmm.
your job sick the IRS on you. Do you do any overtime?
Mm,
You do.
sometime.
The company does that. That don't go to the IRS. They keep that. The company, the company is your IRS.
Well,
That's
what
your
I
mother.
do know is that it doesn't equate to income because I'm not making six and seven figures.
Yeah, that's the term. The guy he had. I heard it today, and you can do this, and you don't use the word income as another term for that. If anybody knows it, please throw it up there, even if you're wrong, because it may jar my mind. I may remember it or something. That's why I need everybody to
Yeah, only
participate.
thing I could think of is pecuniary wages right now. I didn't even think
That
to even
there's
um
something else. I think I might have it in my. Somebody sent a text to me. I so, yeah. Uh, Yeah. So, anybody other topics they want? Now that can you blow that up and let the people see that right there? See what they're doing as far as a municipal
yeah,
law.
and let me pick the conversation up with it too. What I was trying to get to,
That is deep. Ooh, that's deep.
camelbacking,
Yeah.
camelbacking to your statement about the somewhat good old days or whatever. I guess you could call it
Yeah.
the good old days because
Yeah.
again,
The
this is
50s and 60s. That was it.
pre integration,
Yeah.
and we see what happened with
We were
integration.
we were free. The 14th Amendment and the 15th or whatever that thing is. What we did, we allowed them to beat us up. We allowed them to come in our houses without due process and all that stuff. That's what they were doing with their own people back then. And so what we see as a black and white thing, um, scope of this black and white people trying to so-called force us, the government to force us together and hold hands. We were already free. We're already doing our thing. But somebody came in and said we can make money off of these people if we just manipulate their thinking. And so this is what they do. They manipulate our thinking.
Well, I say they didn't even have to manipulate our thinking because they still on script and we still on script. You know how we on script? We on script because we love the script. We love it. If it's script, you know what I'm talking about? If it's script or scripted or script like, we love that shit. You see what
Hell,
I'm
I think
saying?
Ky- Ky-
The
Kyrie,
way that they were able to almost indefinitely implement their program was keeping it about gaining wealth for them. You understand? Every policy that they've created brings them some type of fucking wealth. You
mhm,
understand? It keeps them in the controlling power position, which is controlling shit and gaining power by way of wealth.
okay,
You know what I mean? Their first that what makes them the most powerful is their military forces, right?
hmm
It's not necessarily the wealth. You understand? People say I never agree with what they say, money, power, and respect. I never agree with that sentiment. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that it doesn't happen that way. We
with
see
the
it happen
well,
that way all the time. We see cream
yeah,
puff, fluffy, Negroes, old cream puff, fluffy cats become
they pay
rich
their weight,
and powerful all the
always
time. You know what I
paying their
mean?
weight, always paying their
But
weight.
it
They
doesn't
can't
it
do it. They can't.
doesn't automatically mean that they are respected.
Right, like I said,
You know
they
what I
can't
mean?
do it.
Who respects you? What
They
is
can't
this? You
do it
rather
from
be
here.
loved than hated, or
They do it.
hated than loved, and all? I mean, feared. You rather be feared than to be loved or loved. We got to try to compare shit. Would you rather have respect or would you rather have toilet paper? You know these stupid ass conversations that you hear so-called people that are rich, black, powerful people have. Is like, then you already know that they don't get it. Again, for decades we've been talking about, well, you can be as wealthy as you want to be, as rich as you want to be, if you do something that they don't want you to do, or you don't do something that they want you to do, or they can press one button and your shit can go from saying 17 billion dollars to negative 685 billion. You know what I'm talking about? Like,
So,
this is
well, well,
we act like we got amnesia. We are like the shit that we seeing now. We haven't
it's not.
already seen
It's
that
not
shit
like you.
multiple
It's not
times
like we didn't.
over and over and over.
Well,
Especially if
it's
we look at the way that various stand-up melanated groups came together, you know what I'm talking about, in the way that they were destroyed. Even when we look at the counterintelligence program, or COINTEL for short, when we look at eugenics, we see all of this shit. But what I'm focusing on right now is what you sent me earlier today, which verifies what I be talking to the peoples about all the time, which is the fact that, again, it wasn't just about, we'll talk about the Christian black codes, and we'll talk about Jim Crow, and we'll talk about the what do you call them?
hmm
Uh Whatever. We done talked about all of that shit a million times already.
yeah, right,
It
right,
didn't
right.
stop there.
But
They
hold
they
on,
continue to. Hmm?
but hold on. Remember now, your classes. You got a beginners class, you got a intermediary class, you got an advanced class, and you got the adept class. So you got to, you know what I'm saying? Like, if y'all ain't we're over here now. We're not down here. If y'all want to know about this, I just look at my
I'm
links.
blowing it up.
You know what I'm saying? Now, they could pay attention to this. This will solve all our problems.
Pretty much. Peace be upon him. Bobby always said that vagrancy laws. That's what I was trying to think
Okay,
of. But
okay,
again,
okay.
we talk about the Christian black codes of 1724, right? We talk
Mhm,
about Jim Crow, the vagrancy laws. We talk about,
mhm.
I even talk about the signs, like we see a stop sign and a speed limit sign. Well, the first sign that was put up had everything to do with us, which is
Right,
the no trespassing, or you go to jail for 10 years and a $5,000 fine or a $10,000
and may
fine,
get
and all of this
and may
stupid
get a
shit
and may
right
yeah
after
and may get a lick on your
1865,
ass.
post 1865 or whatnot. And again, Bobby always said, basically, Christian black codes today, what you call it, is city ordinance. You know what I
Okay.
mean? What's on the paper, it mentioned the municipalities, right?
Mhm,
Which
mhm,
I mention all the time, and their municipalities and subsidiaries
mhm,
of this cartel known as United States of America Inc. Because that's
mhm.
what it is. Call it an establishment, a company, a corporation, cartel,
Right.
right? Because
Mhm.
they got the best threats. They have the
Okay.
best threats worldwide, which is to lock your ass, rob you, sexually assault you, hold you for ransom, or hold you forever. You know what I mean?
Mhm,
No
mhm.
other. Look here again. If you look at the population, you look at our total population, how many people are supposedly in this particular territory versus other countries or nations who have way more people than we do, when it comes down to the ratio, of their so-called subjects and citizens that they imprison, their numbers nowhere meet ours, right?
Mhm.
Or theirs. I'm gonna say theirs. I'm not gonna fucking say ours. But then when you say that, if you get confused by that, then you don't get it. These are the
Right.
business practices that they came over here with, and all they have done is add millions more, which is the reason why they're the wealthiest criminal cartel on earth, right?
Well, true. And we raised them. We raised them. The Moors raised them. We brought them out of the darkness into the light. They took it and they used a little bit of that Yakub stuff, and here you go. That's where we're at today. They were supposed to give it up. We were supposed to, you know, do what we're doing right now and give it up. It was supposed to, but somebody came in and fucked up the Gentiles' world. That's what the evil people did. They fucked up their world. We was they're on loan for us. The Jews took it and told them, look, that guy don't, and that's how they set the shit up. So they got them against us because they thought we took their shit and we didn't take their shit. They know who took their shit. That's why they don't like them. They don't like anybody. Fuck, some of them don't. And I don't like anybody, goddamn it. If you're a nigga, I don't like you. If you're a cracker, I don't like you. If you're an asshole, I don't like you. Well, that's me, but you know. No, look, just be intelligent. Let's do business, like you said. Let's do business and get out of this. What they call that thing? That creature of the Lex Loki. That's how you pronounce that. I mean, it's saying that we are the result of a municipal law. Everything we do, they make something out of it to regulate us. Everybody else have carte blanche to do what the hell they want to do. And so this is you. This is us, people. We're that municipal law. So it says the English judge anticipated the coming rebellion of the Americans. Now, Americans means what? You're American. They ain't got no the designation about just you're Americans. Had already ruled that slavery or social subordination of the Negro, so-called Negro, to the white man was a result of municipal law. So you are a code and statute ordinance person, a creature of the lex loci or loci. And though this was in language that led to vast numbers of people in error, its technical as well as absolute falsehood is apparent when we remember that no such law has ever existed, people. So when you go to court and you paying these taxes, don't pay them. This is what I was telling y'all the last time. Show this to them and don't say nothing. Just show them that right there, that word. They know that word, lex loci. They know it. Either now or at any other time, the American history from the Canadian lakes to the Cape Horn, but it served as a foundation for the standpoint for what widespread impostor, the worldwide delusion, which has since overshadowed the land with the best intentions on their part is deluded. This whole thing is deluded. And you are a statute, code, and ordinance. You're a municipal law, people. Every time you step out of your abode into this Satan's world, they got you. They're going to get some kind of tax out of you, some kind of money out of you, because your impulses, you're so weak that you're ready to give up anything. Because you're always, appetite for food and drink, and you just need something to satisfy you. Yeah. Put your money in your pocket, go do your work, and come home and drink some water, some tea, cocoa or something. Yeah. So that's what we are, municipal law. And they get taxes from us all the time. And you don't have to pay any taxes if you don't want to. But you got to know what you're doing, though, because they say taxes are voluntary. So if they're voluntary, I think that's a 16th publication. It says that, publication 16, it says taxes are voluntary. You don't have to sign. If you want to get them, you can get them, but you're tied into the system. And so every little headache that you try to do to subvert their system, they're going to catch you sooner or later. And they're going to put you in a headache, chokehold so bad, you're going to make you want to jump off a 10-story building. It ain't worth it. Now, what is this system? Oh, this is what you were talking about?
Nah, this is not, the direct from anything, directly that I was speaking about. But again, our information is available. You know what I mean? And, they're going to have you're going to get to the primary source as to where these things come from. You know what I mean? The only
Mm.
primary source is not going to be hearsay. Not from back then, because none of those people is still around. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
directly is going to be the artifacts and the people. You see,
Right.
it's going to be the land, the artifacts, and the people.
Cool. Cool. Good with that.
So yeah, I could take this down. It wasn't nothing. Um, hold on.
Oh, it's
Damn.
something. No, it's something. So for those that don't know,
I ain't saying I'm
uh,
not saying there's nothing like that. I'm just saying,
oh,
being that we passed that conversation
yeah, yeah, yeah,
already.
yeah, yeah. Right. I got you. Damn. Woo, slaughter. Going over my damn head. That's my shit. So, okay, hold on. Is everybody all right out there? All
Yeah. I do have something, if not nothing. Where that phone at? I'm wondering, should we look at this or should I? I think I should just play the audio
I would play
right
the
quick.
audio.
Let me
That would,
find it.
yeah. And you could stop it
I
or
don't want
pause
no
it.
issues about these people at all. Oh, that music banging like that? No fucking way. I hope not. Hold on. All right.
Well, they claim they don't pay taxes and don't need a driver's license to operate a car, and they're not afraid to go after police, district attorneys, even judges when they feel they've been wrong. They are known as sovereign citizens who believe they are not governed by American laws. Bill O'Neill spoke with members of one such group living here in the Triad. He joins us live now in Greensboro with the story. Bill? Folks may not know the Moors. They are members of the Moors Science Temple of America. I can tell you that public officials here in Guilford County and those who work at the Register of Deeds office know who they are. Lawsuits and liens targeting county officials, such as District Court Judge Tom Sherrill. It's certainly disheartening to find out that you're being sued by someone for doing your job. Piling up at the Register of Deeds office in Greensboro. And so it's a tremendously time-consuming process to clean all this stuff up. Each lawsuit seeks hundreds of millions of dollars, and in one case, $1 million. All of them filed by groups identified by local authorities as, quote, sovereign citizens. Well, I don't think anybody expects to receive $1 billion, but it has impact. Alicia L. Shabazel, who identifies herself as a member of the Moors Science Temple of America, says the lawsuits are a form of retaliation for violating the rights of local Moors. And I guess it's sort of I wouldn't say punishment, but an enforcement that other people that come along behind us won't be treated the same way. The Moors have filed $800 million lawsuits against Guilford County's district attorney and his wife, as well as the county's clerk of court and his wife. One lawsuit targets a child support enforcement officer seeking $200 million. We're an office where people file documents for public notice. I think when they file those documents like that, people notice. Judge Gerald took notice when he tried to refinance his mortgage. Discovered that a member of the Moors had placed a $7 million lien against his home. It could have cost me some money. It stuck with my old mortgage. It really is a bit disheartening. It's hard explaining to your spouse. Judge Gerald calls the lawsuit, quote, paper terrorism. You teach people what their rights are. For the Moors, it doesn't end with lawsuits and liens. She, Kenny Martin L., is the group's local leader. He carries a badge that identifies him as a consul of the Moors Science Temple of America. He showed us what he says are documented archived facts dating back thousands of years, showing the Moors were here long before America ever existed. As a result, he says the Moors possess inalienable rights that the American government cannot violate. Do you pay taxes? No, I don't. And you use this code as a way to avoid paying taxes? Yes. Do you have a driver's license? No, I don't.
Again, that's a TikTok video. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this is not new information.
Right.
I'm saying
No, it's not new
It's
information.
not
This is
new information to us. Let's say that.
right, right, right.
To many other people, it is new information. So again, if you witness somebody have be successful with getting corporate entities to remain in honor and respect the fact that you don't want to do business with them, you know what I mean? And based off of fear of getting a lien put on their ass, they don't want to impede upon your rights. You know what I mean? So they may leave you the fuck alone.
Hmm. Hmm.
But
Now,
then you have another brother or sister who they will violate the shit out of. You understand?
yeah,
You
to
heard
scare.
what was that? A sheriff or a judge talking about he couldn't refinance his house because one of them Moors and put a lien on his ass.
Yep, that's beautiful, and that's what. And so that was a while back too, but it was all beautiful back then, and golly, things we had to go through. But yeah, uh, the ones that are learning it now, it's easier for them now. All they got to do is just step out on faith and just go ahead and you you just gotta you have to assert your Wizard of Oz straw man, tin man, lion, and Dorothy, and get back home fast before these people come and try to take. They're trying to take money out of your pocket or cash out of your pocket, and you don't let them do that. Now, if you if you got an issue with the car or the automobile, you could travel with it, but you got to know the right language to speak in order for you to bypass and keep going. If not, use a brother's car as a jitney for people to get around. Stop them at. We can drop them off at the bus stop. We could, take them to another spot where somebody else may have a legit car and take them riding. I mean, all the cars are legit. It's just that they want you to pay a tax for them, and you tired of paying a tax. They're supposed to be paying you a tax because they're on your roads, messing up your roads. And so that's So anyway, that's another story. But yeah, I would use a like a Uber or a Lyft type of person. We can have our own Lyft or Uber type business. We've been had it. It's called Jitney. It's nothing. It's nothing that Uber and Lyft is doing that we did before. It's nothing new under the sun. We already did all that stuff. We still do it today.
Yep.
Come on now. They just gave
Lottery,
it
name it.
lot.
Lottery, casino,
Let me tell you something. I got so good at that machine.
municipalities.
I got so good at that machine. When my friend would come by and say, "You want me to hit a bonus?" and I go pop pop, and a bonus just pops up when I want it to. I learned how to master those machines at the casino. I don't go there anymore. I stopped going there. But it, once you learn this stuff, and it's second nature, it don't bother your high blood pressure because you don't let it bother you. Once you start letting this stuff bother you, then you become the problem because of money and alcohol and your wayward thinking. And that's what we do. We don't think God. We think, and I don't mean God in a robot kind of way. I'm thinking God just living your life and not effing with nobody. That's all. And when somebody come and you defend yourself, we defend ourselves. But if we have to take somebody down, we have to do it out of the fact that we defended ourselves. And that's just the bottom line. There's what do you call it? A script to this thing. It's a script. You got to know how to play it. So if the brother, you got your firearm, he got his arm. I say fire. If you got his arm, you got your arm, and shots fired, I defended myself. That's the burden of proof. It is what it is. So when we come to those Mexican standoffs or 10 paces or whatever, it's hard. It's hard to try to tell a brother, "Hey, you can't." That's what we do. So learn this right here. Learn it fast. Get to the next one because right now we're gonna get to the stratosphere. We're trying to get to the bank and get these heavy equipment. We need the heavy equipment for our airlines, our hotels, our shipping, our farming, our tractor trailers, hospitals. We had all that stuff back in the 60s. Y'all just don't know it. We've had all that stuff. I'm telling you. Your parents tell you that. Your grandparents, great grand, they tell y'all. Y'all know. Y'all know. Y'all have heard it. No, we had. Matter of fact, what you see on TV could be just a propaganda to make you think that we were all slaves when most of us weren't. Because I got a thing called a Delaware, not Delaware. It's got a list of the slaveholders who so-called bought slaves or whatever. Every slave that I read in that census or whatever that manifests, they said they all can read and they're intelligent.
Yeah, I always said it was them that couldn't read.
They say they can read very well. They can read maybe one or two Negroes. They say Negro he can read, but he's slow. Well, hell yeah, he's drunk. He's well, from his parents that y'all gave us, and some are just their impediments that they don't work. Yeah. But you don't go and lump that on those people and try to mix them with other people. Y'all created them. We didn't create them. Y'all invented them. We didn't invent them. They were doing good in the woods, minding their business. Y'all can't mess with them because we so-called lost the war or the Spanish War or something like that, or the wars in Africa. Whatever. We lose wars every day. We fight amongst ourselves every day.
It's time to tap into a different frequency, you know.
You know what I'm saying?
'Cause that
But
shit
yeah,
ain't working. Whether you talking about the Iroquois versus the Powhatan, you know,
we,
whether you're talking about the Muslims versus the Christians, the other melanated brothers that, you know what I'm saying,
and I don't want
jihad
to deal
and
with you
whatnot.
because you read the New Testament. I don't want to deal with you because you only read that. Fine, I'm good with that. But I could talk to all of y'all and get what I want and get under the tree and I'm good. It don't. That's the sun comes up and goes down. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Not you. I'm just saying. Why do we? You know, I know it's a serious thing with some people, but sometimes you got to look at it like, okay, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that serious, but it is. Yin and yang. You know what I'm saying? So I'm dependent, and at the same time, independent. I'm by myself, but I got to depend on me to get to file these nails, cut this hair, and shit be growing out of you. You got to keep yourself looking nice. Hygiene and all that stuff. Yeah. So you got to depend on certain things. You're cold, you got to put something warm on. I was talking to that mo on that got the restaurant on was it 7 Mile? The More restaurant on seven. I think it's 7 Mile. I said, you cooking this stuff? What about? He said, well, it's winter. You got to eat. Basically, what he's saying is, just eat something, man. Just put something in your stomach. Not that it's pork, but something that's healthy. Soup, tea. You know what I'm saying? A warm, something warm while it's cold. And he just said it's very simple. You got to eat. You got to eat something. You got to stay warm. So we need a farm. They got farms. Some people got farms. But if we can band together, you can band together because you have a following and get people to start your fund, and we could fund something like you did back in the day, but people got, I ain't going to talk about that. And we start a fund and we eye that property right in Detroit. They got plenty of it. I was over there on a plane the last week. You got plenty of property out there. And we could grow our own stuff, man. Serious. And we can't grow it on the land. We can grow it inside. Do a hydroponic or something. But we got to start our own
Greenhouse.
food. We got to do it.
People got stuff all underground growing, you know,
Right.
and under the water too. I saw some
So
scientists, you know, some archaeologists, some deep sea divers.
you remember
They
Hakeem Bay?
built an entire farm in the ocean.
Okay, why we can't do that? We can go to Home Depot right now and get some plastic stuff and some wood stuff, and we all we need is celery, bell pepper, onion. Those are the three basic things we need to cook our food with, correct? And a little salt, if you want salt. Celery, bell pepper, onion. I can grow bell
Some
pepper. I can grow onion.
berries,
Berries, but you can grow,
strawberries, any
but
kind of berries.
and you need that to sweeten your taste up because you don't want to eat all that bitter stuff. And so you do all that
Eating
inside.
antioxidants out them berries and stuff.
Yeah,
Your vitamin
yeah. And
C and your
so and
calcium and
now check this out. You come down here and you'll see everybody on the corner selling mangoes, watermelons,
Mhm.
you name it, oranges, limes, you name it. So there's a market everywhere. You may not do it up there all the time, but when summer comes, I know you see people on the corner selling all kinds of stuff, water, juices, and I can buy half of my stuff on the street. I ain't got to go into Target or Meyer or Costco. Go around the street and get all I want because we still do it. It's just that people don't see it because they're in their cars with their windows rolled up and they don't want to breathe the fresh air. They don't want to get out and look at things. Everybody's like this, you know. It's not good. It's not good. But look, I don't bring my ass outside at certain times either. I ain't crazy now. Shit, I ain't crazy. But so yeah, you got to navigate. You got to know how to navigate. So I never pay taxes. I just don't pay taxes. I find a way not to pay taxes. I'm retired now, and I don't pay taxes. I was winning. I won. I think the last one I won was $2,700 a hand pay, and I ain't pay no taxes on that shit. They gave me all my cash. Ain't pay no
I
taxes.
love it.
Never pay taxes. Always find a way to get out of it though. Yeah, it's navigating. It's like the guy I was telling about Boston McFadden. He always found a way. He was an entrepreneur. If he finds something, he take it. If he says it's his, it's his. You can't do nothing about it because he was clever like that. He knew how to. He knew how to. He was a businessman. I call him businessmen or entrepreneurs. He could take something from you. You don't even know it. You know what I'm saying? And then look, and say, "Damn, hey, say what? Say George, this is mine. I always had this." And he'll make you believe that it's his. That's how powerful he was.
That
He was a
sound like the state of Oklahoma, the state of California, the state.
we can do that. We can do that. We can go up like right now. Well, just like you saw the show of force of that army, that paramilitary army with the Hebrews. That was awesome. I love that. I want to see the more do that. I'm ready to fast up. Let's go. That would be sweet. Oh, that would be sweet. Everybody does it. We can fast up.
Well, by definition, when you seen them do it, you saw the Moors do it. We gonna use that word as a description of melanated peoples because that's how I use it.
Yeah. Well, you know who used to tell
People caught up in Moors, or you a Moor, sign simple of America, and Noble Drew Ali is your prophet, and you know what I'm talking about, like.
the oh gosh, Jesus.
If only I could get you to think.
Um, yeah. So if we show force like that, not only force like that, if we just show force and go down to the like we've been doing, like this, we did it. We've been did. That's why I'm retired. I'm waiting for the new ones to come in. If they need
Right,
any
and I
help,
don't want to
we
do it
can
no
help
more.
them.
I don't want to. All I want is to, want them to, if they gonna operate in honor. Since I can't, let me reword that, because if it was my preference, it would be for them to go back home, right? But being
Well,
that
they
I don't have the power to stop them from fucking functioning, what we ought to have the power to do is to have the decision of whether or not we want to do business with the state of Delaware or the city of Philadelphia or the state of Idaho or whatever the fuck it is. If I don't want to do business with that particular corporate entity, I shouldn't be forced into it by way of being threatened to be sexually assaulted, robbed, and kidnapped and held for ransom. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Now, if we can come together and again, like I say, we start at the bottom. You know what I mean? Nobody is, or just think about it. As
Mhm.
fearful and fucked up in the mind our people are getting ready to spend billions of dollars from starting from last week all the way up until December the 26th. You know what I'm talking about? Because somebody gonna be buying late presents and shit. You know what I mean? Point being, okay, we don't want to do business with y'all. Period. I don't want to do business. But we again, my point was this: we got to start at the bottom. I always mention that the hillbilly hunky tonk rednecks got together and made the decision that these 10 states are no longer going to extort us, you know what I mean, by way of robbing us of 75, $85, $100, whatever it is, for not wearing a motorcycle helmet, right? So now, you see what I'm saying? They're no longer being extorted for these funds the same way that we are being extorted with that seatbelt shit. So as melanated people who we complain about police brutality and so on and so forth, and you know what I'm talking about? Like, we need to get together and make the decision that they are no longer going to rob us for 75, 85, $65, whatever a safety belt ticket, you know
so
what I mean,
so
cost. You know what I'm
so
saying? And for us, again, I always mention it's worse because prior to them putting legislation into play that allowed them to sue you for not wearing a safety belt, it's just the audacity. You gonna sue me for not wearing a safety belt when you the same people that been beating our asses and kidnapping us and robbing us and sexually assaulting us and holding us for ransom for a couple centuries now. But
so you're
you
gonna
concerned
get a
about my safety to the tune to where you would sue me for. But anyway, prior to them having the seatbelt law, what they would do is they would pull you over and then bust out your headlight or bust out your tail light in order to say they had some type of probable cause for fucking detaining you in the first fucking place. Well, with the seatbelt law, they don't have to do that, and they've made billions of dollars, possibly trillions of dollars off of us with this fucking seatbelt shit. So again, Honky Tonk said, "Nah, y'all not gonna extort us for money no more for not wearing a helmet. Is if I wanna ride my bike with a helmet and risk my brains being splattered all with your helmet, don't save your life. You know what I'm talking about? Like, if you gonna perish by way of a motorcycle accident or a biking accident, then the
it could
helmet is
puncture
just
your
kind of keeping
lungs.
shit in place a little bit.
It could crack your
Believe
neck.
me, believe me when I tell you, from research. You know what I mean. The same way with the seatbelt. Again, every so often throughout the year, the Breakfast Club people, they'll run their little commercials talking about click of the ticket and all of this shit. But Charlemagne the God is the same Negro who told everybody that he was drinking and driving and was in a really bad car accident and he didn't have a seatbelt on, and that the people that come to the site, the forensic people, when the cops and the ambulance, when they got there, they told him had he had a seatbelt on, he would have died in that car accident. By him not having on a seatbelt, if he was flung out of the car the before it hit the fucking tree. You see what I'm
Mm,
saying? It smashed the car like that. I'm not
hmm
telling people not to wear their seatbelts. It's just that would get the people to be aware of their fucking rights. Again, a honky tonk said y'all not gonna extort us no more. You know what I mean? Which it
Well,
only makes sense that we should have been, like I've been saying this for how many years now. Somebody
hmm
should have picked it up. You know what
hmm
I'm talking about? Because this is the to me, again, for us, this is starting at the bottom. For somebody like me and you, with all we know about the right to travel and so on and so forth, and your own private conveyance and all of this other shit that we've been through the decades, we know our people are not gonna pick that manual up that way. But we start them all the way down here with the seatbelt shit, and we can accomplish getting 10 states to eliminate that law. You know what I mean? This is revenue that they will no longer be extorting us for. You see what I'm saying? Like, this will be showing them, like, hey, you don't have to do business with these people. You understand? Is
hmm
me doing business with the state of Michigan beneficial to me? How does
Uh,
that benefit me at all?
if they're not giving you,
Versus how does it, and then it's a conflict of interest, but at the same time it benefits the shit out of the state of Michigan, who gets an annual budget by way of a foreign entity, Washington DC, on an annual basis. They get an annual budget, you know what I mean? But
hmm
they don't divvy it out to the so-called people who they
you can't.
supposed to be listening
No,
to. The people
you
run the government, right?
no. The corporations run the government and the
Yeah,
lobbyists.
thank you.
That's why your money don't go. Your well, the funds doesn't go to us. It goes to us in the form of philanthropy. And you know what philanthropy is? If you let me see, let me see what that article you had before. Can you, if you can find it? I think it's in there. I think the corporations, the rich people, they're the philanthropists, and those are the ones that cause the skirmishes we got going on right now. They think they're doing a good thing, and they're really not. They're the most evil people in the world. You know that thing that says your municipal law? If you can
Yep.
find it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Trying to see if that's. Did I just give you that one page? Because I know it's another one there. It says something
Yeah,
about
you just gave
the.
me the one.
I did. Oh, jeez, hold on. Goodness.
We know what it is though. I was just talking about this last week.
Well, yeah,
It's
the philanthropy is the ones that's the ones that divvy up the grants and stuff, and they get funds and foundations, and they try to build a scholarship fund for people and all that stuff. And you got to go by what they want in the language, not what you want with it. They want you to go by their what they want you to go by the language. And so it's an evil program, and they keep us they get us locked in all the time
you gotta go to
through
work.
philanthropy. Let's see. If they if the new people are interested, they can look up Jordan Maxwell if they really want to know something about simple stuff like how to go to court, how to not go to court, and they can do it. If everybody's
Jordan
interested in,
Maxwell talking about core shit, I would point them out
yeah,
more if I'm gonna go in that direction to a Gene Keating or somebody like that.
no, no,
Even
no,
though I don't really
no,
care.
no, the new ones, just the basic stuff, not Gene Keating, because that's ooh, you know what I'm saying, like. That's later on.
Oh
They got to
no,
move on. They got to go to
it's
the yeah. Once they get that little this is the court is the bank, the bar. That's the,
Lloyd
and,
Stratman. Wasn't that his name?
huh?
All
Who
these
was that?
fake name Europeans.
Yeah, he had a different name too. Yeah,
Yeah.
Jordan Max.
Yeah.
Well, everybody got a double name now. Shit, I got about 10 or 20 of them. I don't want people to find out who they are, who I am. Yeah, I want to keep myself incognito. You know what I'm saying? What's your name today? Like Z York, he had like 20
I don't
different
have a
names.
name. I'm not a Christian, so I don't have no
You know,
name.
what's your appellation? You know what I'm saying? What's your appellation?
What's your title?
What's your title? What's your Now look.
What's your ranking?
So here's the deal. If you look up names, not names, but titles, no bill. It's the first is the pretext, right? Which means I think tribal or tribe. The suffix is landmass. We must remember that. The tribe is first, landmass is
Clan.
second. Landmass is second. So that's how we speak when we're speaking the noble language. You're speaking
Well, let's
tribal
give up some
language.
references because I got to get out of here.
Fear. Look that up. That's tribe and landmass. It also has a numerical number of Aleph Firesh. That's a Solomon key. You say that a couple of times and you get
And what's
blessed.
the sister name? Peace be upon her, not to cut your wisdom. The sister that was
Kamala M.
assisting Marcus Garvey.
Oh, woo. Sister Loki, Princess Adora Loki. I think his name. Hold on. Adorka.
We gonna
That's the
have
one you
to.
want to teach the people with.
Yeah, we gonna have to assemble again tomorrow if possible, so you can put some light on that sister.
Yeah, but you know they do my computer so bad, man. It's like they
What?
slow it down, they throttle it. I don't have these problems I don't have these problems. I really don't. And they throttling it right now. Don't make sense. But yeah, Adora Laura. Let me see if I can get the damn name up. Get it.
Must have been trying to pull something up. So that's it. I
Yeah.
fear. How you spelling it?
Like AFRI. That's Afri.
I fear.
Afri.
Okay.
That's the same as Ophir. Phir. They're one and the same. So what it means is Aleph Firesh. That's the key of Solomon, and it goes with the Zohar thing. you call it the Kabbalah thing. You follow me? The tree of life, all that
Hmm.
stuff. Yeah, yeah. And then when you invoke those that formula, whatever, you know, you become it. You get that energy, all that good stuff. And let me see, Princess. Okay, hold feet. Yep, it's slow. Come on.
I have to copy and paste it up for the next go round.
When you gonna do that?
Tomorrow, tomorrow, because
Oh,
yeah, I didn't even get the. I didn't have the right folder open to even partially try to go
okay.
over what I wanted to go over. But I definitely want you to come back and build on that, sister, because once you hit me with the
Yeah, she is
information
at.
and I mentioned it to a few other people, and it was like they were dumbfounded.
Really, really. This is the secret here down here. People don't want to talk about this. And she's at
Mm. You know what
the
it is.
Carl Gables Museum. You hear me? Hello?
Talking about Miami, Miami.
Yeah, it's Carl Gables Museum. Now look, this murder happened March 8th, right around the time they were going around doing the Pan African conferences in Cuba and places like that, New York. You know what I'm saying? And in 1930 is when who left to go to Mexico? Farad Muhammad, right? Peace be upon him. And they messed up Noble Drew Ali around that. So a lot of that, all that energy was going on back then, 1928 and 1930, and come on now. But Marcus Garvey didn't pass away until the 1940s, I think, something like that. So I'm trying to get back online. It's taking a long time. Oh, God's Lord Almighty. But yeah, Lower Kofi. I
That's
tried to. I'm
right.
trying
That'll
to
give
share
you
it.
time to, copy and paste anything that you need to copy and paste for. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna
The
try.
day of the
I'm gonna
sun.
try. I'm gonna try. It's taking so long to pull up. Okay, let's see. I can get this. Can't stand this. Every time I'm on your show, it messes my computer up for some strange reason. I got my
I'm
Wi-Fi
blaming
right by.
it.
Look, it's right by the window, man. How close can you be with this stuff? I said, if I put it by the window, I got no problem. Yeah, you do. Still do. Here we go. It should be loading up now. Come on.
See my man's.
Okay. All right. Where we at? Share screen.
That's the homie right there.
Okay. Come on. It don't want to. Okay. You see it?
Mm-mm.
Is that it?
Did you hit the present
Hold on.
icon?
Uh,
It says present now. It don't say share screen no more.
okay. Yeah, I hit present and window, enter screen, window. It's so slow. But anyway, man, I'm not going to hold y'all up, man.
Yeah, it's acting
It,
like you're trying to put a commercial presentment in or something. Huh?
exactly. Like I'm trying to edit the stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like putting pieces together. It's crazy. There it is. Is that it? But anyway,
All
yeah,
right.
it is what
All
it is.
right.
Sorry about that, y'all. They keep bothering me. Keep bothering me.
That's all right.
See, it's coming. It's coming up now. It's just slow. But yeah,
You're
I'll
gonna
try
have
to
to
work on it.
command it the next time.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry about that, y'all. Next time,
That's all
let me
right.
get all my
We
stuff
good. We
together
gonna say
first, so I can
peace.
present. Yeah, so I can present my stuff, so these people can
We gonna say
argue
peace
with me
and
and come
wadu.
Ashe, Ashe. We'll talk to you.
Supreme.
Shock.
Etymology.
They say I'm dope, I said I'm smoke, fire, blowing air, carbon, earth, solid, water, wet. I'm steady B, a sister soldier that dies effects. So gone with all that hoopla and rah-rah, unless you talking about Atun, Namuna, Amara, pineal glands, all seeing eyes. We call the third eye. We came to build, not pay your bill. Slang municipality, city seals like roadkill, descendants of ancient mound builders. Not supposed to need encyclopedias, genetically encoded with 720. We got amnesia, claiming we Christian Cretans in love with Yahweh, Muhammad, and Jesus, but you was living inside of God when you was a fetus. But believers will never believe